So iRacing just released the new Porsche Mission R. You can pause this to look at that if you want the specs. That's from iRacing. And this is the first pit stop. I really didn't have any idea what I was in for. And if you don't know, then I guess I'll let you find out. But first, just to tell you a bit about the car, it is a all-electric car, and it has there's two different power modes. There's quality mode, which is basically 1,000 horsepower. And then there's race trim, which is 671 horsepower. And when you're racing, you can't change the mode to quali. And I don't think in quali you can change it to race either, but I haven't tested that in a live session or anything. How the car felt right away, like this is just initial impressions. I'm sure people figure some stuff out in the settings is um, in quali mode, the thing just took off. It's basically a rocket. And race trim, it's a bit more manageable. What's really interesting is the car, it's super heavy, so it's really hard to stop. I don't think the tires are, I don't necessarily think it's the brakes being bad. I think it's kind of the tires doesn't really feel like it's there. I'm not really sure what the settings are either. I'll show you that a little bit later. Um, but yeah, it doesn't really want to turn. It really wants to go straight. As soon as you're on power, the car really goes straight. There's no gears. It's just reverse, neutral, first. And I don't know if you can enable pit limiter either. But this is just me after doing a whole bunch of laps. I just pulled into the pit lane to refill the tank because I heard it was a 15-minute pit stop and I just didn't believe it. So I tested it, and sure enough, it actually is. So here's kind of the ending. It isn't actually 15 minutes. It was 13 minutes and 22 seconds for a full tank. It did tires as well, so maybe it actually is a bit shorter just for the recharge. So I don't really see this being viable for an endurance race, but hey, I don't know what iRacing is going to do. I'm pretty sure it is going to be its own series anyway. So I was able to do a couple of laps, and I didn't really get the hang of it, but I'm not a GT driver by any means anyway. So here I'm testing the in-car adjustments. I just want to show the range of each one. I guess I mapped my up and down backwards, so I keep messing it up, but more is more. So like 11 ABS is more ABS and 0 is less ABS. And that is for each adjustment. More is more and less is less. So the brake bias, you only get 10% swing, but in the actual car setup, it's 15% range. And that's from forward is positive and rear is negative. The drive bias is how much power comes from the rear or the front. So it's basically like how much understeer do you want to get. I'm just showing the stuff that you can map to your steering wheel. The big one that I see will be the ARB settings, because that's pretty much all you can change anyway. And then here's everything. This is literally it. You get the power mode of quali race, and then this is showing the brake bias goes from 55 to 40%. So I guess say if you put it at 45, you can adjust it from 40 to 50 in the actual car. And then the drive bias is what I was just talking about. Traction control. What I noticed with the traction control was you don't need it. Maybe just a little bit, like 2% or something, but you can just slam the accelerator and the car kind of goes. These are my shit laps of just trying to figure this out. And I'm just going to show one of them. Well, I showed two actually. You can see how early you have to brake compared to say like a GT3 or something like that. And there the car just wants to go straight. Just went really, really wide. I could not do this flat out. The car just doesn't have enough downforce, and you can't adjust, say, rod heights or wings or anything like that to fix it. My optimal was fairly close to my best, but I can definitely do better. Here I realized that later that you can brake later if you actually use ABS, so ABS is a usable setting in this car. It's so funny, like as soon as you get on the throttle here, the car just wants to go straight. I overshot this turn so many times, and eventually I just kind of figured it out. A lot of it is just going to be coasting, I think. You're going to coast a bit into the brake zone because it's faster than braking early, but you need to bleed off some speed. I definitely overshot this turn many times as well, too. If you're at full throttle, the car will go straight, but yeah, you get a little bit more turn asking, a little bit less, with say like 50% or something like that. I got used to the sound, I gotta say, it wasn't that crazy for me. You could probably a percentage throttle this, maybe, but I really lifted through it just to get a lap in. Blanchiment is equally scary as it is basically in every car. I just could not get the weight managed for that. Then you brake mega early. And pray that it wasn't too early, but definitely not too late. And then after this, I just switched to the fastest lap that I did, that I messed up one turn really bad on. So, I mean, this is basically the Mission R. I think it's going to be a fun car to time trial, but I personally don't see myself racing it. It's just not what I enjoy. It really just wants to go straight. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. If you have questions, though, that might be a lot more effective. And here's the fastest lap I did with one major mistake, but hey, you can't blame a guy for trying. Thanks for watching.